Hi everyone, this is Smriti. Welcome to QA automation classes. And in the last session, we have seen the data-driven testing. We have seen how to pass the data inline from the feature file to the step definition, and then we have seen how to pass the data in the form of the data tables. And there we have seen the two variation, one with as list and another one is with as maps. And third one was the scenario outline and the examples, right? For each set of the data that is mentioned in the example section, the scenario is going to run once, right? So if there are multiple set of the data you have given in the example section, then those many times of scenario is going to get executed. So this is that example. Okay, so scenario outline and examples. So this was the last class things. Okay, so in the current class or in the today's class, we are going to learn about the cucumber tags. Okay, so what exactly is this cucumber tags and why exactly we need them, right? So we'll learn in detail about the cucumber tags today. So without wasting further time, let's get started. So what are the cucumber tags, right? So the tags is like you tag something, right? So you tag something or you mark something with something, right? With some tags or name, right? So tags are used to mark the scenarios and they can be included or excluded from the execution. So based on those tags, we can decide whether to include them in the execution or exclude them from the execution, right? And so let's go to our feature file. So this is our user login, right? So here if you see, I can say here this is a scenario outline example, scenario outline scenario, okay, scenario outline demo. And this one okay, scenario outline. And now let me add the first one first. Okay, so user closes the browser after this. Okay, so let me put it here. So first one is, this is goes as a scenario. We'll go with that default one, right? So user enters the username as qaautomationclasses at the gmail.com, inline passing of the username and password. Okay, and password as qaautomationclasses. Okay, so this was the first scenario that we have seen, right? So I'm just putting that one. Okay, so we'll make this one as inline data passing, inlining test data pass, so test data inline. Okay, so this is the first step. Okay, this is the first scenario, pass test data inline. And the second one is scenario outline. Okay, perfect. And maybe the third one we can say data table as list. Okay, so and this will be data table as map. Okay, fine. So let's say, so scenario outline, data table as, this is data table as map, because in map we give the headers, right? So let's say data table as map. Okay, so let's uncomment them. Okay, and I can have one more data table as list. Okay, put it above. Okay, data table as lists. Okay, lists, because we have multiple list. Get rid of this username and password. Okay, user enters username and password, and we can pass the multiple username and password over there, right? So and done. Okay, fine. And this is data table as map. Okay, so we have four scenarios now. The first scenario is user login, and here we are passing the valid username and password inline, so that's pass test data inline. And the second one is scenario outline demo. So here, instead of having all this four set of data, let's have only two set of data. I don't want the execution time to increase unnecessarily. Okay, so one valid set of data, one invalid set of data. Okay, and data table as the list. So this is also same, data table as list. Let's have only one set of data. We are really not using these things. Okay, maybe two sets of data I can keep. This is just, this is fine, because the execution will happen with only one set of data. If you guys remember yesterday, right? So what we did, we kind of took these values and try to run it, right? With only one set of the data, right? So if you go to login page, what is our step definition, right? So user enters string and password as string, username and password. Okay, this is a normal one. And again, okay, so data table as list implementation. Okay, so I think we have only one method, and there we have commented this one, and we have only map over here. I can do one thing. Okay, so we can get rid of that list, we can go with the map implementation, or otherwise I can create username and password as below. Let's say I will do this. So this is for the list. Okay, let me create step definition. Okay, fine. So in the step definition, as below, and I'll say data table credential. Let's update this one. Okay guys, so data table credential, and this entire code I can copy paste over here. Let's cut from here and put it over here. Okay, so data table as list implementation goes in a single line comment, and this is done. Okay, I think everything should be working fine now. So data table as map and data table as a list implementation, we're done with the all the changes now, right? So now if you see, we have all these four we have the four scenarios, and then we have the, for each of the scenario we have the respective step definition files are there. Okay, so now what exactly we are going to do? So we are going to tag them, right? So how to tag them, right? So for tagging them, we can use some tags. Okay, so let's say feature with the validated credential, right? So before the scenario, right? So after feature, before scenario, I'll say @ okay, so I'll just say it smoke. Okay, so that means this comes under a smoke tag. This entire scenario comes under the smoke tag. Okay, and similarly the second one, that is with the scenario outline. Okay, so this one we can annotate with the, let's say I'm saying this as a regression. Okay, so let's say regression. Okay, and the third one, right? This is done. Then third one, data table as list. Let's say data table as list, I can mark with both @smoke @regression. So @smoke, you can annotate, you can give the multiple tags also to a particular scenario, right? So here I'm giving smoke @regression, and then data table as a map, right? So for that one also, we can give something, or we can leave it. Okay, so that is okay. So let's say smoke regression, smoke and regression, all three we have given. So let's keep this empty and see what happens here. Okay, this is empty. Okay, so let's understand. Go to the our runner, cucumber test runner. Okay, so in the test runner, okay, so after these plugins, right? So after we are done saying plugins and all, so we can do one more thing. We have to give the tags there, right? So here put a comma. Okay, enter. Okay, and here so here we can say tags equals to, say, let's say tags, sorry, so tags, so tags equals to, I'll say @smoke. I want to run the smoke test cases @smoke. Okay, so now let's see what happens. Okay, so now if you see, I'm saying the tags equals to smoke. So if I go to here, so I have only one feature file. If there are multiple feature files also, it will scan all those feature files, and whatever is tagged with smoke, those are going to get executed. So here if you see, this is annotated with the tagged with the smoke. So this scenario is going to get executed, pass test data inline, and second, this is also tagged with smoke and regression. So smoke is also present here, so data table as the list, both are going to get executed. Okay, so let's run the cucumber runner, cucumber test runner, save it. Okay, right click and run. We can run. Let's wait. It's getting some error, initialization error, failed to parse source. Okay, there is some issue with our feature file itself. Okay, so it is not able to parse. It did some mistakes over here. Okay, @smoke feature login and user closes the browser. Okay, and regression, sorry, regression, scenario outline, and here the example. Cool, this is also done. And then smoke and regression, right? Data table as a list, close the browser. Okay, so here we don't have anything, and we're closing the browser. So fail to pass resources, pass the test data inline. Okay, scenario pass the test data inline is empty, it's saying. Maybe I have not given something properly. So scenario. Okay, oh, I have given like space over here, my bad. Okay, so let's see that fixes it or not. Okay, let's try running it. Okay, so now you can see there are two scenarios I got picked up over here, right? So now the intention is not to see what is happening in the execution side, but the intention is to see what exactly got picked up. Now if you see pass test data inline and data table as list, these two scenarios got picked up for the execution, right? So if you see, so data table, what is that, use pass test data inline. So this is the first one that is annotated with or not annotated or tagged, right? Both are same, so it is tagged with the smoke. And similarly this one also, if you see data table as list, that is also tagged with the smoke. So in because of that, both these are getting instantiated and both of them are getting executed. So now since I have asked to specifically go and execute all the smoke tagged scenarios, so it executed all the smoke tagged scenarios, and if you see it also passed. Okay, so both of them got passed, right? Okay, so this error is because of driver version mismatch. So we can update the Chrome browser selenium version, or we can update our selenium version, it is saying. Okay, that's fine, we can do that. But if you see the main intent, what I was trying to show, like if you tag it and if you want to run that tag, you can mention that in the runner class, right? So we wanted to run only the smoke, so we make tags equals to @smoke. So this is fine. So now let's run one more scenario where we'll say regression tag. Okay, so let's say I'll say only regression, run only regression. So let's see how many regression tags are there here. So one is there, scenario outline demo, and here one. So these two should come, right? So one more thing, if you guys have seen, right, I have not marked this one with any of the thing, right? So because of that, what is happening? So it is not going to get executed because this is on tagged one, and we wanted to run only the scenarios that are tagged with the smoke or something, whatever we want, right? So because of that, it is not going to get executed. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show, because of that I didn't mark here anything. Okay, so let's go and run for the similarly for the regression. If you want to see let's say regression. Okay, so let's run this one. So here also we should see the two of the scenarios getting executed. The first one is the scenario outline demo. Here two times it will get executed, and the second one is the, see, if you see scenario outline demo 1, scenario outline demo 2. Because why because two times, why it is getting invoked two times? Because we have two examples, right? So and that will get executed two times. After that, data table as the list, so that is marked with the regression tag, right? So that is also going to get executed. Okay, so okay, let's wait for the execution to complete. Done. Okay, so now if you see scenario outline 2 is failed because here we are passing the invalid username and password. So this is correct, right? This is as per our expectation, right? So assertion error, we have put the assertions there, right? If the page title is not able to match. Okay, so this is correct. So now let's go and understand individually putting the tags we have seen, smoke and regression. Let's do with some conditions, right? Conditional. So let's say let's go with the or condition first. Okay, so run the scenarios tagged with either smoke or regression. Okay, so now I'll say either if any scenario is marked either with the smoke or with the regression, then you should run them, right? So how to specify that? So here I can say @regression. Okay, and I can say or, okay, or @smoke. Okay, so @regression or @smoke. So if you do that, let's understand how many should get initiated here, should executed. Smoke, so this will get executed. Regression, this will also get executed. Smoke and regression, this will also get executed, right? And 3 will get executed. Okay, so let's run and see. And this one will execute it twice. Okay, let's see. Right, so past tested on inlet, this is for the smoke one. Okay, perfect. And then for scenario outline, right, it is the regression one two times because two examples are there. And then data table as list because that is both smoke and the regression, right? So if you see all the scenarios that are marked with either smoke or the regression are getting executed here, right? So that's how you specify the or condition. I'll just bring this up. User log, what is the runner class? So cucumber test runner. So this is how you can specify @regression or @smoke. So similarly, this is the or condition. So we can have the and condition also. Okay. So if you see, we have one and condition also, right? So where we have marked it with @smoke and @regression. Let's see that one. Let's update here first. So I want to execute the tests which are tagged with regression as well as the smoke. So if you see here, go to the feature file. So if I go to the feature file, so only this one should execute because it has both smoke and regression. So when we are saying and, so both of the tags should be present in that scenario, then only it will get executed. Okay. So if partially it is present, it is not going to get executed. So that's the expectation. So after finishing up this execution, let's run that and see how exactly it is going to happen. Okay. So this is done. Okay. And I have already updated here cucumber test runner with and. So let's run it and see what happens. Which one is getting picked up? See, data table at list. Here we have @smoke and @regression. Only one single scenario is going to pick up because it satisfies whatever the tag condition we have given in the cucumber runner class, right? Since we are saying @regression and smoke, so it is picking up only that one and it is trying to execute that one. Okay, hope it is clear, right? So, and we have not condition also, right? We had and or, then we have not condition. So let's say not smoke. Okay, so how to say not smoke? Just say not space smoke. Okay, so that means execute all the scenarios that are not smoke, annotated with not smoke. If you go here, so this is smoke, so this will not get executed. This is not smoke, correct? So this one should get executed. Scenario outline 2 times. This is smoke is there, so not smoke will not get executed. Here we don't have anything. Let's say whether this is going to get executed or not. Okay, so let's run and see. See, did you see? So what is happening? So we are going with the scenario outline, right? Because that scenario outline is regression only, so it is not smoke, so this is going to get picked up. And here, though we don't have any tags, right? So this is, we are saying it is not, it should not be smoke. Whether you have tag or don't have the tag, it doesn't matter, right? So here we don't have the tags, that's why the map is also going to get executed, right? So if you see, it is picking up the data table as map, this scenario also, and it is going to get executed. Okay, so this is how you do the different types of the tags you can pass. You can pass individually, you can combine them with and condition or condition, and you have the not, and with not also you have the and or condition. So let's look at one example like that, and then go to the runner, cucumber test runner. I'm saying not @smoke, and I can say and, let's say and not @regression, and not @regression. So I'm saying it should not be smoke and it should not be regression, right? Both of the things should not be present, right? If both of the things should not be present, then which one is going to get executed, right? So let's go and see. So smoke, no, not going to execute it. Regression, not going to execute it. Smoke and regression, not going to execute it. Nothing is there. This is going to get picked up. Okay, let's see. So what I said not smoke and not regression. Okay, okay, so only map got picked up and it is going to get executed. It is executing. Okay, so now one more few more pointers about the tags. Okay, so after that we'll we'll stop the this class. Okay, we'll be done. So let's say, so few interesting things about the tags in cucumber, right? So the tags can be applied to the feature and can be applied to the scenario outline or examples also. Okay, so let's see how we are going to apply the tags to the examples. So we have one scenario outline and example. So let's go there, scenario outline and example. Yeah, this is the one, right? And if you see here, I have like examples, username and password. I have given two set of the example. Let's say let's say this is positive login and this is negative login. So positive scenario and negative scenario we can say, right? So let's say my user closes the browser. So before the examples, I'll say at the rate positive login. Let's say positive login. Okay, scenario, positive login scenario. Okay, and examples, username, password, and key automation classes. This is done. So now we can mark it one more time. Okay, we'll do like this. Okay, and here instead of positive, we'll get rid of this one. So negative data we're not going to pass, because I'm going to say just run this positive scenario or negative scenario. Okay, so let's say this one will be negative login scenario. Okay, so in the negative login scenario, we are going to again have the examples, and in the examples we are going to have this one set of data. You can have multi set of the data if you want. Okay, so you have multiple valid set of the data to be logged in. So here you can give one more enter, and you can pipe separated, you can pass. Okay, so similarly for the negative, you have multiple negative scenarios to be tested. Here with this different test data, you can put it, okay, one by one. And so I'm saying positive login scenario and negative login scenario. Okay, so this we can, how we can execute. So let's go to our tags, cucumber runner tags. Where is the cucumber runner? Okay, so let me just copy this one first, positive login scenario. So copy, so let's say tags, I'll say positive login scenario. Okay, so now let's run and see what is happening. So what happened here? Not able to execute. Okay, okay, so before that we can do one thing, right? It's marked with the regression, right? And let's see, positive login scenario, that is the correct one, right? Positive login scenario, right? Okay, examples, username, password. Okay, negative login scenario. Okay, makes sense. Examples. Okay, perfect. Okay, so okay, let me try to rerun and see why it is not working. Where is that runner? Okay, positive login scenario. This is how you should say in the tags, right? Okay, oh my bad, so we have to give at the rate, right? My bad, my bad, my bad, that's why it is not running. So tags always you should give at the rate symbol, right? Okay, so let's see. My bad. Okay, so now you can see here, right? So what is happening? So scenario outline demo one, only one hash one you can see here, right? So only one is going to get executed. Which one is that? That is the tagged with positive login scenario, right? So you can see here valid email address and a valid password, and click on login and log out. Okay, close the browser. See, and similarly I can go with this negative one. Okay, so negative login scenario. So runner, let's say negative login scenario, and then run. The two hash 2 should get executed, the second one should get executed with invalid username and invalid password. Okay, see, okay, one test failed. Okay, so this is fine. So now tag inheritance. Okay, so what exactly is this tag inheritance? Okay, so the tag inheritance, the tags can be inherited by the child elements. Okay, so tags, those are placed above a feature, will be inherited by the scenario outline or the examples that has been defined, right? And the tags that are placed above a scenario outline will be inherited by the examples, right? So let's do one thing, let's go to the tags in our feature file. So I'll say at the rate all. Okay, so let's say all. I'm saying at the rate all, so that means the feature, I'm tagging this entire feature file with the at the rate all. So let's go to the runner and I'll say at the rate all. So let's say what is getting executed. So everything should get executed here. Okay, let's see. See, past test data inline, and that scenario outline related to to executions, data table as list and data table as map. So all four, right, everything is going to get executed. I'm saying at the rate all, right? So go ahead and find this tag, and when we go and see this tag, we see, so it is at the feature level. So all those whatever scenario outline, whatever we have defined inside that feature, all are going to be get picked up and will get executed, right? And right, so, and one more important thing, it is not possible to place the tags above background or steps given when, then, and what. We should never put our tags above background or any steps given when, then, and what, right? It is not allowed. And but if you see the way we are executing, right, so every time we are going to the code and we are just going to the cucumber runner and updating these tags, right, which is not a good practice. So whenever you are developing, you can run like that, but you assume your code is in your repository, right? And from there you have to schedule. So you want to schedule all the smoke test, a smoke suit you want to schedule, you want to schedule a regression suit, you want to schedule end-to-end shoot, right? So how would you do that, right? So for that one, we have to override the tags from the maven command line. So you have to pass this tag information from your command line, okay? And that we'll see when we'll cover the our framework to support the run from the maven command line, right? When we pass the command line argument and try to run from the maven command, that time we'll try to override this tag related concepts from there. So that is how in the real time everyone executes the test cases or test scripts, okay? And that is how the test scripts are executed through the jobs, okay? So that's all to this class, guys. If you guys are really enjoying these sessions, I'll request you to subscribe to my channel QAutomationClasses, and if you have any questions, then put them in the comment. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And please do share this with your friends, and I am listing out the list of other playlists which we have completed till now. Please go through them as well. And if you have